Fired up to be here today with a friend of mine who's a real estate agent, investor, father, husband, John Daikus. John, great to have you.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice being here.
Heck yeah. So today we're talking all things Litchfield and Litchfield County.
Yeah, I love it up there.
It is awesome. How long have you been there?
I moved up there full time, I think like 4 years ago now.
Wow.
But I bought some land there like 10 years ago almost, which is kind of was like my foot into the door. And then we were trying to build up there, got sidetracked, wasn't the best piece of land, so we sold it. And now, since then, we bought a couple other properties up there. But yeah, we love it up there.
How'd you first hear about Litchfield?
So I've been going up there since I was a kid. With Boy Scouts, we'd camp up there. My middle school and high school, we skied at Mohawk, so I was always up there. Bantam Lake, largest natural lake in Connecticut. I was always up there as a kid, fishing and swimming. And my dad had a small boat, so we'd take it out there. But yeah, we've been going up there forever.
Mm.
Yeah.
You spent summers at Bantam?
We'd go up there for the summer.
Oh.
Yeah. There's a campground on that lake too. Point Folly. It's like a little rustic campground. We'd camp there. So yeah, we spent a lot of summers up there. Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it's cool up there.
You said it's the largest natural lake?
Largest natural lake in Connecticut. Candlewood's bigger, but that was all dug out. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. There's a town at the bottom of Candlewood.
Oh.
They flooded out. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so wild.
Yeah.
With Bantam Lake, what is it like during the summer?
Summer it blows up. We get a lot. I think like 10,000 more. It might even be more than that. Like part-time residents come in.
Yeah.
Everybody has summer homes up there, weekend homes. So it's vibrant in the summer. A lot more people though.
Yeah. Well, Litchfield in general, feels like a country second home place.
Yeah.
Would you say that's accurate?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's mostly, I mean, it's a good mix. So there's, people live there full time, obviously, but some of the nicer towns around the lakes, a lot of that's weekend homes, a lot of New Yorkers up there, summer homes. Yeah.
What are some of the nice towns that people would want to live in Litchfield County?
So it all depends, like as a New Yorker coming up?
Anything, yeah.
So New Yorkers coming up like to stop at like almost Fairfield, kind of like Sherman.
Yeah.
Sharon. But Litchfield County, Kent is really beautiful.
Yeah.
Washington, Roxbury, New Preston, all have really beautiful houses, but low taxes. So everybody loves that. Litchfield, of course, if you want to be like right in the center. And then, the more you go north, the quieter it gets. So it all depends, like, what you're looking for.
Is Litchfield the only town with like a downtown? Because it's got a great downtown, but
Yeah.
Or I guess uptown is what people call it.
Yeah. Washington has a small little area, but Litchfield's like has the town. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's like one of the most well-preserved 18th century like villages in the United States. It's on national like registries. Yeah. They have like the history. That's why I'm up there too. It feels like Vermont in that corner of the state, but you're still, close to everything and I don't have to move to Vermont.
Yeah.
But, and then the history is like really cool up there. Yeah. Yeah. I walk my dog in East Cemetery all the time. And there's Oliver Wolcott, who signed the Declaration of Independence, is buried there. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, it's cool. There's like history everywhere you go up there.
That is so cool. So you got started in Litchfield with moving there for the two family? Is that when you were first there?
Yeah. So 10 years ago, about 10 years ago, maybe more now, I had money burning a hole in my pocket. And I was like, I want to buy some land. I want a lot of land. So I was looking, I found 14 acres up there I think I bought it for 30 grand, 30 or 40. I forget which one. And I did like some improvements to it. And then I got lucky. The guy down the road had a landlocked piece of 7 acres that he gave to me basically. So then I had 21 acres, but it was like the side of a hill, really rocky. Needed a lot of like land moving and stuff. So we sold that recently, maybe 2 years ago to a local couple in town. Cool couple. He like moves land for a business. That's his business. He has triaxles and the biggest excavators you've ever seen. So, you should see what they did over there. It's crazy.
What was the name of the company?
I think it's Bartlett Construction.
Who's the guy that you sold? Nick Bartlett?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Cool dude. But yeah, he like blasted the mountain. He moved all this earth around. He's been working on it for the last 2 years, and now they were digging their foundation yesterday in the nice weather these last 3 days. He's
unbelievable.
Up there. Yeah, he's sending me photos of it and stuff. Yeah. They hit more rock, of course, up there. It's all rock. But
so they're gonna move into it.
Yeah, they're
awesome.
Building a beautiful 4,000 square foot house.
So you sell the land, then what happens?
So we sold the land.
At that point, you're already living in Litchfield, though.
Yeah. We bought a 2-family in town,
Yep.
right in the historic district. We bought the 2-family before we sold the land. We said, okay, we need to live up there so we could build up there. So we bought the 2-family, renovated top floor, got a great tenant in there, and basically could live for free on the first floor while we worked on the new build at the land. And then then we decided that wasn't the spot to put all the effort in. Basically, it came down to like new construction, a lot to it. I couldn't get it off the ground right away. As much as like when I buy other houses that I just have to renovate, the house is there. You could go in there and gut in
Yes.
one day after you close. Like this is like a lot more planning and this
Yeah.
and that. And when I realized the scope of the project, I didn't think that was where I wanted to be forever on that piece of land. So we decided to sell it. So we sold that, and we just recently bought a new property. But yeah.
What the town of Litchfield? How would you compare it to other places you've lived?
So I haven't lived too many places.
Give me a couple. I know you did.
Yeah, I grew up in Naugatuck in the valley.
Yep.
Hated it when I was there and hated it for a while, but looking back, it was a great town to grow up in. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Cool town. It's coming long ways now. The downtown was a nightmare for a while, but now it's beautiful. I have a friend that owns a restaurant down there, pizza place, The Hub, really good spot, a good coffee shop down there, and they're building all.
What's that? Loaded Goat or something else?
Loaded Goat, yeah.
Okay.
And then they're building, all new luxury apartments downtown. So Naugatuck's come a long way, and what you're finding now with the New Yorkers pushing the Bridgeport, Fairfield County crowd up the valley. So this is what happens. I get a lot of leads from Bridgeport who are looking to stay in Bridgeport, but their budget's really hard. And I always pitch them Naugatuck. I'm like, if you don't mind a commute up the valley, but when they see night and day difference, what they could get in Naugatuck from what they could get in Bridgeport, it's like a no-brainer. So
They're willing to go.
Oh yeah, most of them.
Yeah. So. Where'd you go? New Haven. How long were you there?
We were down there for 7-8 years. So I was working at Sikorsky.
Yep. In Stratford.
Yep. And then we were in our 20s. You want to live in the city. I wanted to run down to New York City, but the job was really good. They were paying for all of my degrees, so I decided to stick around. So we bought a brick brownstone in Worcester Square, New Haven, 3-family. That was probably like 2010-ish.
Yeah.
And we just sold that one last year. Just time to exit it. There's always a time you got to sell. So
yep.
But we loved it down there. City life was cool in our 20s. The food, the music scene, everything down there was cool. And then then we got sick of all that and wanted to run to the country.
Did you enjoy the time in New Haven?
Oh yeah, we loved it. I could even see myself living back down there in the right spot, like maybe East Rock. I'd have to have a little yard and a garage and some privacy, but so I was a big car guy, motorcycle guy. I always have like 4 or 5 cars, a couple motorcycles, and we bought a house in New Haven with no driveway even, because it was basically you either get a yard or a driveway. And we looked for a while. I think we were trying to buy down there for like almost a year. We went under contract one in Dwight area, cool house. The sellers backed out, which was a weird situation. We almost had a really cool one right across from the hockey rink, Yale hockey rink, which looking back, I wish worked out because they built a whole new campus around that whole area. So whoever bought that scored. But we lucked out with the house we got down there too. So
what did you love so much about the New Haven scene?
The food. It was the food.
Really?
we were like a block from Pepe's and Sally's.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be in my backyard, you could smell the pizza. It's like
unbelievable.
Which was cool. And I just, when you're younger, the city vibe is cool. And I ripped motorcycles around downtown, and it was fun. And I bicycled everywhere. It was cool. Yeah, it was a good time. But
you ever go to Union League?
Yeah.
I was there last night. It was awesome.
Oh yeah, that's a great restaurant. Yeah. We had our little dive spots we like down there. It's funny, we like eat at the same 4 spots, even though there's like 100 restaurants down there.
Yeah.
Mamoon's was always the go-to. And, some of the older spots.
What else?
Well, Shake Shack was down there. That was in the beginning, which I heard the only reason they have a Shake Shack is because the daughter of the CEO went to
Yale.
No
way.
They put one there.
That is so funny.
Which kind of makes sense. It was there like pretty early.
Yeah.
But it was cool down there. We loved it. But then we changed our lives drastically. My wife was a nurse. She left nursing, got into real estate. I quit Sikorsky at 19. We hit the road in a camper, like RV, for a year and a half. Just traveled the country, and then eventually came back, got into real estate. I tried not to get into real estate, but
why not?
I don't know. I knew I'd be good at it. I knew houses, and I just knew it would work, but I was trying to find something else, and that was like the backup.
Yeah.
I was trying to see about, purchasing a business or see what I wanted to do, if I want to start my own thing. But ultimately, I just decided to get in. It just made so much sense too.
Yeah.
My wife was already in as a transaction coordinator, so she knew the backside of it.
Yeah.
So when I got in, all I had to do was the client forward facing stuff. So it was a lot easier to get in, and that's why I've been pretty successful in the early stages.
Sam's still helping you on the back end?
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, so she's home with the kid, but she helps. She writes the offers. It's the best. I could leave a I could leave a showing, say, oh, we're gonna write an offer up. I could have an offer in an agent's email in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even get home yet. I didn't barely leave the driveway of the house yet. and
Yeah.
they have the offer in it. So I think that's helped us win a lot of deals. Speed, we're on it. She's really good at that backside. So
And the kid, boy, Miles.
he's the best. He turned 11 months yesterday.
That is
He's
awesome.
almost a year already. It's wild.
Yep. Starting to walk yet?
Yeah, he's taking steps. He's talking a bit. Yeah, he's a maniac. He loves it. He's the best. And this winter, I've been kind of just trying to soak that up. He's never. I'm a little older dad. I had him at 37, so I feel like it was cool though because I kind of knew. Like retrospect, I knew like, oh, I'm only gonna have he's only gonna be a 9-month-old for one time in my life. So I've been trying to, this is gonna be, I feel like a transition year for me. Real estate. I might not crush real estate this year. Obviously, I'll still do really well.
Yeah.
But it's not like a growing year. We have that new house build, and I'm just trying to soak up the new kids. So
That is awesome.
yeah.
Time of the life. I want to talk about the new build, but let's go back to Litchfield County. About who's moving to Litchfield County. I know you said you got people from Bridgeport moving to Naugatuck.
Yeah.
Like going up the line, up Route 8.
So everybody's getting pushed up, but mostly Litchfield's more New Yorkers, to be totally honest. And I know everybody hates hearing that, but it seems like, the Brooklyn crowd, everybody who's like, wanted to be in the best spot in the city. Now, when they come to the country, they want to be the best spot in the country. So you either go upstate New York or you go on the island, but a lot of them are turning to Connecticut now. So
The island, what do you mean, Long Island?
Long Island, yeah, like out if you go way out.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Hamptons
and
stuff.
And if you go upstate New York, where you like Hyde Park, like up the on the Hudson, or even further upstate?
Yeah, I mean, it all depends. There's some nice towns coming
along
up.
the Hudson.
Yeah, I don't have my New York license. I probably should have had a couple opportunities now.
Yeah.
I might get it eventually, but I'd rather just refer the work and not drive 2 hours for stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and then the thing you see is when New Yorkers are deciding, oh, am I going to upstate New York or am I going to go to upstate Connecticut? Taxes are way cheaper in Connecticut. Which to you and me, we always thought, I always thought Connecticut taxes were pretty high compared to my friends all over the country, Tennessee, this and that. But compared to Westchester County, it's insane. We sold a house in Litchfield. The guy's taxes were, I think he said it was like $18,000 a year, and then he comes to here and his taxes are $4,300 a year. So right there, he's saving $10,000.
Yeah.
So you get a lot of that too. You get people in Connecticut moving up there too. The remote work, of COVID.
Yep.
Has changed a lot, but for the most part, it's definitely in more,
Second homes.
Yeah, second homes. You get a lot of people buy second homes that turn into primary homes. I had a client last year. We sold their house in Bantam. They bought right in downtown Litchfield, right in the historic district on South Street. Beautiful historic home. They still go to the city. She goes to the city twice a week. He goes, a couple times a month. So you get a mix of that. Now that COVID has changed, not everybody, everybody's going back to the city, but it's not like 5 days a week. So as long as it's like 2-3 days a week, a lot of people will deal with it just to live up there. So, more for the kids and stuff.
There's not much industry though, businesses. So that's why it's second home.
Yeah.
And all different. It's a different lifestyle.
And that's kind of why I'm in real estate.
Yeah.
I wanted to live up there. I wasn't going to so I quit Sikorsky. The minute I got back from that trip, 3 of my bosses that I used to work for called me to try to get me back in there, but I knew I wanted to be in Litchfield and I wasn't going to drive an hour every day for that. So now I drive 3 hours a day, but at least it's for me.
Yeah. What a sucker.
Yeah.
That is so funny.
Yeah. Sikorsky was cool though. Glad I left.
What'd you do there?
I was electrical installer. So I was right on the line wiring Seahawks, Blackhawks. I was on the developmental program for the CRH, which was combat, going to be for the Air Force. It was cool. They paid for all my degrees. So I got a bunch of degrees. Went to UNH, finished everything at UNH. Went for a master's at UNH, Industrial Organizational Psychology. So it was cool. And they, especially when
industrial and
organizational psychology. So it's more like the HR thing.
Yep.
But it was cool there. Especially I got in that as 20. I was 20, making, I worked all the overtime. I think my first year there, I made $90-something thousand as a 20-year-old. Like,
Yeah,
where do you do
early
that? Yeah.
mid 2000s.
And they're paying for my degrees, and they're giving me extra time off because I'm going to school. It was like the perfect gig. But I did 12 years there, and then I just knew, if I don't get out now, I'm going to just
Never.
stay here. And not that that's an issue, but I just didn't. I knew I wanted to be in Litchfield, and the commute was the thing. So.
Yeah. In Litchfield, is there any underrated towns or anything that flies under the radar that you're willing to share with the public?
Dude, I will die on this hill. Torrington is an awesome little city.
Really?
And it always had a bad reputation for a while. Every town was kind of gross in the 90s and whatever, but like for your money, how far your money goes and where you're located in Connecticut up at the top of Route 8, so getting to Vermont, Mass, all that, if you're like me and ski a lot, I'm really close to, I could get to Butternut in 45 minutes. I could get to Killington in under 3 hours, like 2.5 hours. So it's the same thing for Torrington. And if you're like a new couple, the issue is where your job is. That's the thing. Like you said, there's not a ton of industry up there. But if you could at all make it work with like maybe a longer commute, or if you have to go up over the hill to Hartford, it's not too far. But they have cool condos. They have good restaurants. Like I throw a rock and I hit Torrington. Everybody in Litchfield, Washington, Roxbury, all these nice towns I just talked about. Like, well, you either go to Southbury to shop or you go to Torrington to shop. So it's not like, you know what I'm saying? So that's my like secret little hidden gem up there. I feel like,
Wow.
especially if you're just trying to get it, you could still buy a house up there for like 300,000. That's pretty decent. Like, might need a little bit of work, but where else are you doing that? Fairfield County can't touch anything. You know what I'm saying? So
400 to 500 will get you something really solid.
Oh, really nice. You have to factor in Torrington has slightly higher taxes, and school system that's on you. You got to figure that all out. If you have kids, maybe that's a deterrent, or maybe not. But yeah, Torrington's a cool little town. Definitely, if you're young, your 20s, you're just looking for something to buy instead of rent. It's not going to be your forever house. Then maybe you move up to Litchfield, or But city-wise, I like Torrington. Winstead's coming back a little bit further up, all the way at the top of Route 8. But yeah. But the little towns, like, Litchfield's great, New Preston, Washington, but they're a little more pricey. Yeah.
The market in COVID dried up, so limited supply, right? Ton of demand.
Still.
I was going to say, where are we today?
As of today, right now, I was looking this morning for a client, 11 houses on the market in Litchfield.
What's typical, if you had to say, I mean, that's not a lot, 11 houses.
Yeah.
Wait, on the market in general?
In total in Litchfield, not county, just Litchfield. County, there's more, obviously, but...
Out of those 11 houses, though, how many have been listed in the last 30 days, right? Like, that aren't under contract? Any?
Yeah, those are active listings. Yeah.
But some of them are probably over 90 days on the market, right?
Yeah, there's a few. There's one on there that's been on there forever. I know I keep seeing it come on and off, and, those houses, for whatever reason, I showed the house a couple times.
What house?
I don't even know the address off the top of my head, but somebody came in, lipsticked it, and in a historic house, and then they got like LVP like flooring.
Oof.
And it's just like
doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So you basically got to go and rip it out again. So, but yeah, 11 houses. I'd say that's Litchfield isn't a huge town, but 11 houses,
it's
there's
tight.
Probably a lot more. There's a lot more buyers than that. What I'm seeing already in spring, and it's typical of every spring, buyers are ready in March.
Yeah.
They think spring starts in March, and they think they should be able to find a house. And buyers are never ready till May.
Sellers, you mean?
Sellers, yeah. So sellers think spring, April, but then they're never ready because they have last minute things, and I don't blame them. Or you want to get the yard looking a little bit nicer. So I see it every spring. It's like buyers are ready in March, sellers don't list till May, and you get that little weird 2 months, which I would say for sellers is the months to list.
Yeah, because there's so much demand.
So much demand, not as much competition because nothing's coming out till May, and then the last couple of houses, there was a house I called about for a client. They reached out. It was already under contract. It went way over, and the guy even told me it was kind of a dog. And then a couple of the condos that we just went out, they just pop on and they go way over again. I listed a house in Naugatuck. This is a perfect example. I had a house in Naugatuck. We listed in November. It got dragged out for 80 days. We gave these people 80 days to close a loan because the sellers are really nice and they didn't want,
Yeah.
Dude, we had to go back to market. We put it back on a Thursday. By Thursday night, we had 3 offers. They came out that day and put offers in because they say it's so hard they knew it was so hard to get like offers accepted.
Wow.
I did an open house. By the end of the thing, I think we had 5 or 6 offers. It went like well over.
So it's still ripping.
Yeah.
Wow.
especially right now. Like I said, if you're a seller, I'd try to get it up.
I've heard that now from like March is the best time to list your home, and if you're a buyer, it's like October is the best time to buy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love the winter for buying because
Yeah.
nobody else is looking. There's less houses, but there's less competition. So
Mm.
if you do see a house that you fall in love with, there's less competition. My best friend got a house right in Huntington and Shelton. Beautiful
Really?
house, same
Yep.
thing. I was the day after Christmas we put an offer in. Nobody was looking, and we negotiated back and forth, got an even better deal. I didn't even think I thought it was a good deal as it is, but of course I'm going to try.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they got a great little house, so
That is
so
awesome.
I always say, yeah, like you said, buyers in the winter, sellers early spring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're starting to see rates come down a little bit, which is pushing up more buyer demand.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think it's gonna be a crazy summer.
Yeah, I think so too.
So a lot of 18th and 19th century homes.
Yeah.
If you're buying that kind of house? Which, by the way, I can't believe someone put LVP flooring into it. It's wild.
Yeah.
You need to like a table that looks like this to go in there.
Yeah, yeah.
What should you think about before buying that kind of house? Because there's probably like some upkeep or something that you need to be aware of.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So my little context, my house in New Haven was 1870, and my house up there now is 1860.
So you have experience
Yeah,
with,
yeah, yeah.
with older homes.
So, they're basically like every other home. Inspection is way more important on these homes. 'Cause
Yeah.
you can catch stuff. There's also stuff that inspectors aren't going to catch. There's, behind the wall, you never know. My house, the current house I have, I found knob and tube in the wall still, like, the whole nine. But yeah,
Yep.
you just got to be aware of, old electrical systems, knob and tube. That's
Yep.
like that's a really big one. Like if you find knob and tube, you got to replace it.
Mhm.
Septic systems on the old house, but that's the same as a septic on a 1970s ranch because all
Yep.
those are coming to time now. Foundation issues, they're all fieldstone foundation, so the basements aren't going to be as like clean and perfect as other houses.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, it's the same stuff. Roof, insulation. You're not going to have as good insulation unless they've retrofitted it. So
Mm.
yeah, there's definitely things to look out for.
Is there anything though that's a deal killer if you're buying in Litchfield an 18th century home that's like you shouldn't buy this home, or everything has a solution to be fixed?
I think everything has a solution to
Yeah.
be fixed, the right price on anything. And then you add the value and you make out in the end. But trying to think, super big deal breakers. To me, I didn't even do an inspection on my house when I bought it. Like
Yeah.
to me, it's like I like the house, it's a good price, I'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would say electrical, just make sure the electrical's good.
Mm-hmm.
Roof is roof on almost anything unless you. So the other thing is like I live in the historic district, so anything I do to the exterior of the house, you have to get approved.
Mm.
So that's
Is that a pain in the butt?
it's not the easiest thing, but I've learned that now I just have my contractor who's doing the work, just deal with them. He
Mm.
goes to the meetings because he has all the answers. If I
Yep.
sit there and they're like, "Oh, well, how big of a reveal are you doing on this?" I'm like, "I don't know." So,
Yeah.
but I have a good contractor up there, and he built some stairs at my last house, just entryway stairs, and he dealt with them. So
Mm.
you have to get it approved. You have to go, a meeting. It usually takes 2 months. You got to go to second meeting.
Yep.
They just want to make sure, and I get it. They want to make sure the historic district stays, the
Historic.
district. That's what people, tourism is huge in like Litchfield. Every weekend in the summer, the traffic comes down the hill like to my house for people trying to get up into the, the middle of the town. They come out to go to the shops or walk the hiking trails, or there's a lot of good food now up there, which is really cool. So
So we're seeing that in Fairfield. I'm gonna pause on the tourism and agriculture,
yeah,
but a lot of changes in Fairfield 830G affordable housing,
yeah.
where you could bypass some of the historic district items, and like it's kind of sad to see because I love the
yeah.
historic looking districts that we
Yeah.
have.
Yeah, that 830G is a really, you don't have to deal with any of the local code. It just goes to the state level. And as long as you could prove to like, you know,
There's not
that
enough
there's,
affordable housing.
yeah, well, it has to be under 10%. And then as long as you could prove like traffic flow isn't going to be an issue, which I've heard it's not that hard to like get that to pass, like it really can't stop you. So you see them shoehorning in like 8-unit spots in like little residential neighborhoods and stuff.
There was an acre lot in Fairfield, like around a bunch of acre lots.
Yeah.
Just go to 830G and they're putting like, 24 townhomes.
Yeah, which is crazy. It
And
changes the neighborhood.
Completely.
Which listen, we need housing.
Correct.
You and me know more than anybody that there's a housing shortage. I don't think we could go crazy, right? And I don't think there'll ever be enough housing. Connecticut doesn't have enough land to keep up with the demand. Like especially Northeast, it's like a little different story than down south. But I don't know if 830G is like the way.
I think there's a way to do housing the right way.
Yeah.
And I think, apartment buildings for rent are not the answer. But if you were to take a lot of these pieces of land, like in a downtown area, it could be thoughtfully created to create townhome style living or row home style living
Yeah. Oh yeah.
to create more density that 100% would benefit, I think, everybody.
Oh yeah.
Because it
With some
keeps,
retail on the bottom to anchor the neighborhoods, and
yeah,
but it just seems like there's a disconnect, and I get it. There's disconnect from the developers and what people actually want. And
Yeah.
the developers, because they're looking at it as a dollar-based project.
yeah,
They want to put 24 units in, and they want them to be rental so they can get long-term,
Yeah.
dollar on it. And I, I don't. You see all those luxury apartments going up. None of them are for sale. They're all just rents.
all rents.
Yeah, there's not too much of a market of building new, like purchasable, like townhomes, properties, houses. So.
As that happens, you would think rent prices will come down, though. If supply keeps coming, eventually the
Yeah,
rental
yeah.
prices will come down.
Yeah, it should, and I hope it does. I feel super bad for like first-time home buyers. It's like you have high rents and you can barely afford to buy something, and if you do, it's like what you're paying for is like it still needs a ton of work. It's a tough market.
It is tough. Let's talk about tourism and agriculture in Litchfield.
Yeah.
One of the best things, by the way, in Litchfield, when I think agriculture, I love ice cream. I think
Oh,
Arethusa.
yeah, Arethusa. They were like the first heavy hitters up there. They
Yeah.
came. Those two dudes. One of them worked for that Manolo Blanc. It was like a high-end shoe company in New York. They used to have every summer at the Bantam Firehouse. They used to sell all like the leftover shoes and the sample shoes.
No way.
One of my wife's friends, our friend, she would volunteer there just so she could get like first dibs at all these shoes. They'd be like $2,000 shoes. They sell them for $200. They all have different sticker prices and stuff. But yeah, they went up there. They bought that farm, and one of the stipulations, I guess, was they wanted to keep it an active farm. So then they created the whole ice cream industry up there, and they have the restaurant, the fine dining restaurant now, the coffee shop across the street. They basically like renovated Bantam.
It's it's not a city, a town, but it's like they're starting. It's starting to come along.
Yeah, yeah. Nobody up there, I think, wants it to be a city, but
Yeah.
but yeah, we
Well,
want.
walkable town with
Oh,
coffee
yeah.
shop, restaurant.
Yeah. Bantam downtown, Litchfield downtown. You could definitely walk
Mhm.
around. Litchfield is amazing to walk downtown, and then walk South Street and Summit Meadow Street and just stare at these beautiful houses and like. Oh
Unbelievable.
my! I got to sell one last year. It was insane for a buyer actually, but yeah,
That was a nice house. I remember
Yeah.
that.
the amount of history up there is insane. Yeah.
Yeah. So what do they have for tourism? You get people coming that just want a quiet area, kind of like buying homes there. What?
Yeah, I mean, it's outdoor based. So anybody who's like basically like me, I'd love to live in Vermont, but I don't want to live in Vermont.
Mhm.
So you have everything Vermont. We have tons of clean water lakes for recreation, tons of hiking trails. Mohawk, small hill, but it's cool for kids. And
Yeah.
I go there once in a while at night for $40. You could ride at night, which at night in the winter, what are you doing anyway? It's
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and the way it always gets good sunsets over there, like the way it's positioned. So, but yeah, it's mostly like outdoorsy people. People are hiking. We got White Memorial, which is like a huge nature preserve in Litchfield. They own 4,000 acres. They have 40 miles of trails, and they own most of Bantam Lake and the land around it, which was cool. The White family, they did a lot for preserving the land in Litchfield, so that's why it looks the way it does. Half the reason it looks the way it does.
What are some of the best restaurants in Litchfield?
Ooh.
Somebody's visiting for a weekend. Where should they go?
In Litchfield or Litchfield County.
Litchfield County, you could give me, but
So some of my favorites, a new one just opened, Lost Fox Inn.
yeah,
It's
that's a nice place to stay. I heard too.
Yeah, you could stay there. They have boutique rooms,
Yeah.
but the restaurant's really good. The bar's cool. They have the original bar. It's like low ceiling, really dark and moody. It's cool.
Yep.
My wife go there for drinks. I like to go out to Kent to Swift. Really good restaurant out there. They do sourdough pizza and then like fine dining. They also have like on the other side of the building, they open Ore Hill, which is like tasting menu, fine dining stuff. One of our friends is the manager over there.
Aura Hill.
Ore Hill.
Oh, Ore Hill.
O-R-E. What else is up there? Community Table is always like, I'd say that's probably one of the best.
That's in New Preston.
Yeah, right on the line.
Yeah.
They just got nominated for a Baird Award.
No way.
Yeah, same with the Italian spot in Litchfield, which I just went to, and I always forget the name. It starts with an M. Matera, I think. Mirtea, I think. It's like again, fine dining. They just got nominated for a Beard Award as well. So it's funny that like, you're kind of up in the country up there, but there's like super, like you got your fine dining. Gooseboro is like a little burger shack that I love. We had a super sweet little dive bar, Woods Pit. It was like iconic. It was like a little Mexican / barbecue spot.
Closed.
It just closed. Somebody
Oh.
bought it and they changed the name. I don't even know if they're open yet, but there's a lot of good food. I'm probably forgetting West Street Grill downtown. It's awesome.
Yep.
That's been a staple up there forever. Marketplace, that marketplace right there is actually really good. It's probably one of the best marketplaces, I think.
Yep.
Super consistent. You'll know your drink will be good, your food will be good.
Yep. Yeah, well, so that marketplace is cool because it's in an old jail.
Yeah, that was our old jail, 18th century jail. So when you go in the bar, you see the little tiny stone cells and stuff.
That is so cool.
It's awesome. I always bring people there. Like if somebody's coming in town, like we'll usually meet there because it's good. Like
lunch
business
spot.
Lunch spot, yeah,
For sure.
Except, dude, funny story. I brought a client there. She had a lady. She had her friend in from Washington. They were like, "Oh, we want to meet you." I sold her a house, so I was like, "Oh yeah, let's meet in the marketplace for lunch." We sat outside, beautiful day. Well, Litchfield has the old like fire sirens still downtown, but when they go off, we were sitting there. It was so hot.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, it was so funny.
That is so funny.
Like I was fine, but they were like, "Oh my god,
What's going on? Yeah, the world's ending.
Yeah.
That is so funny.
Yeah.
Some awesome restaurants. I need to try. I've been to West Street Grill. I haven't been in the first few you said. I got to check out.
Yeah.
Places to stay. You have Abner Hotel, which is the old courthouse.
Yeah, they just redid that.
I've stayed there a couple times. Great spot.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Belden House.
Belden's new. I think brand new, right?
Yeah, that just opened, I think, last year.
Yep.
That's the same people who did Troutbeck out in I think that's Millerton, New York.
Yep.
But yeah, there's like, great spa there. You could actually join it. I joked with the wife. I was like, oh, I'm gonna join the
No way.
pool club spa club. I don't even know how much it costs, but yeah, they're great. Lost Fox Inn, right down the road's cool. Litchfield Inn has always been great.
Yep.
But that's what Litchfield for a while had nowhere to stay. They only had Litchfield Inn. And then Airbnbs popped up, and that was, helping out a bit. But now we have all these new hotels, and it seems like, it seems like it's doing really well. And I know a few clients who have Airbnbs in the area. They say they're doing great. That house we sold in Bantam, they just bought it. 2 months later, it popped up on Airbnb. Yeah.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, that Bantam house. It was beautiful. It had a sweet view. So yeah, the tourism up there is like booming. Yeah.
I feel if you're buying like as a second home and you don't mind someone staying in your house, you could easily put up on Airbnb when you're not there if you're not there all the time.
Oh yeah, and that's what they do. I know somebody who has one house. New York, they have one house. I actually bumped into this lady. It was funny. I was at the coffee shop. My favorite coffee shop's up there, Crafted Brew Lab. It's
in Bantam, right?
Yeah, I'd say it's the best coffee in Connecticut, not just up there. But
you really love this place.
Oh, dude, I love that spot. Like he brews he roasts all his fresh beans like right in the back. So I get all I'm like a coffee nerd.
John loves it so much. By the way, he wanted to rent office space next door.
Yeah, dude. If it wasn't so big, I'd be renting that.
Yeah.
But yeah, great dude. The coffee's so good because when we were in New Haven, Willoughby's was a roaster in New Haven, but they were roasting beans in like the 70s before it was like a big thing.
Yeah.
And so that's how I got hooked to coffee. And now, so I'm like so stoked that Craft is up there. They opened in COVID and he did really well in the back spot. And now they're in the front. So I don't know where I was going with that, but.
We were just talking about different.
Oh yeah. So the Airbnbs. So I pull up there one day, I'm into vintage Vespas and I park my Vespa and this girl comes in. She's like, oh my God, is that your Vespa? And she's like, I just turned 40. I'm trying to convince my husband to let me get a scooter. And she's like, can you help me figure out what scooter to get this? And so long story short, I helped her. They have an Airbnb and they just Airbnb it when they can. And when they don't, they come up and enjoy, Litchfield. They're from Brooklyn. And I helped her, get a scooter. I taught her to ride it. Like she has a sidecar scooter. And
oh my God.
I went over there when they delivered it to help her get it off the truck and get it started and everything. But they were a cool couple I met. There's a lot of interesting people up there.
100%. I think
yeah.
From where they're coming from in New York, their arts, craft, they're interesting.
Yeah. A lot of them have studios up there. That ceramic spot, I always forget the name on that. Dumas or something. They do like beautiful work. There's so many cool artists up there, and spots like that. Guy Wolf, Guy Wolf. He's been up there forever. He has a cool house right on the main road in 202, and he does pottery. and he's like huge. Like Martha Stewart, like is always up there, and I know it because my mom, watched Martha Stewart, and she was always, she would always go up there and do shows with this guy. He does really cool pottery.
Guy Wolf.
Guy Wolf, yeah.
Okay.
And like every pot has like a year on it. My mom has one from every year, and
Yeah.
it's a thing up there. That's cool.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Where do you think the market heads in the next 2 to 5 years for Litchfield?
it's only gonna go up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're. It's funny because I've had a couple like I just showed a house to another young couple on South Street. They're getting married at Lost Fox Inn in May.
Mm.
And so we were bullshitting. I showed them the house, and they were saying like they grew up in Darien. They're in Boston right now. And I said, "How did you end up here?" They said, "Oh, well, when we come back to visit our parents, we were looking for a place to get married. We found Lost Fox Inn, and then we found Litchfield, and we never knew it was up here." She's like, "All the years I lived in Darien, I don't think I've ever went to Litchfield." And so, and then her husband was like, "I like it up here because it's not like showy money." And I said to him, I was like, "Yeah, the millionaires up here drive Subarus, and they're in muck boots because we have mud season, and they walk their dog on the trail, So it's cool up there. I think it's only going to get more and more expensive, though. You could kind of see it too. Not that the locals are getting pushed out, but I've had a couple conversations with people who've lived there forever, who don't love what the downtown is turning into. They blatantly told me there's no shops for locals up there, which he's not totally wrong. I don't really go in those shops either.
Vito.
You go into them, but they're like, it's tourism stuff. Like when you're there for the weekend, you want to buy a cool little country thing. And we go in there once in a while. I think my wife buys, sometimes we'll buy, housewarming gifts and stuff out of the stores. I try to support local, but yeah, he was saying how there used to be a bookstore there, and the pharmacy used to be on the corner there where At the Corner is.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Well,
So I
Vito
get it, but-
was walking there, and he did a quick video to like a cashmere scarf place.
Oh yeah. What's that? Derwin's?
He didn't buy anything. It was like,
Yeah.
it was like, $1,000 just to get in the door.
Yeah. That's my favorite building, the one they have on the strip.
Sick building.
Oh yeah.
All the buildings in downtown
Oh,
are
yeah,
cool
yeah.
right there.
Yeah. That's the goal. Maybe one day I buy one down there.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not, but
That's the goal.
yeah.
With an office upstairs.
Yeah, exactly.
It's interesting though. Darien to Boston, and now they're thinking about moving to Litchfield.
Yeah, they said Litchfield, or they were open to any towns up there. I said, Washington, Roxbury, New Preston.
Mm-hmm. What does
But-
someone like that do for work?
I didn't ask.
Oh, okay.
That's with my clients. I don't ask.
Yeah.
If it comes up and they tell me, great. But I kind of leave the finance stuff. I leave that to you guys. Like,
Yeah.
you guys talk numbers and this and that. I like to give people privacy, and
Yeah.
I think people like that. Even
Yeah.
when it comes down to numbers, I'm like, talk to the lender. I'll even send the email to get it going. But the number things, I leave it
Yeah.
to them. That way I could focus on the house thing, and I'm
For sure.
privy to that.
Well, I'm asking more not like how much they make.
Oh yeah, I got you.
But like, what is someone like?
Demographic. Yeah. I
who-
mean,
Because you get, like I said, there's not much industry, so it's got to be
Yeah.
remote, or it's got to be
yeah,
some.
it must be remote. I would say it's remote.
Yeah.
I met some people who work in Hartford at like.
How far is
travels and
Litchfield to
stuff.
Hartford?
Probably 45 minutes.
Okay.
It's not a bad ride though. It's up over the hill, 118.
Yep.
But
They work at Travelers, you said.
yeah, a couple guys I know up in Goshen that had a
Yep.
house up there. They worked at Travelers. He only had to go in 1-2 days a week. So it's a lot of hybrid people,
Yep.
And if you're like me, I mean, I don't mind to drive, so I wouldn't mind to commute. I'd rather live where I want to live then.
For sure, especially 2 days a week.
Yeah, absolutely.
If someone's on the fence about buying in Litchfield County, what are you telling them? Or Litchfield County, doesn't matter, versus
yeah.
buying today versus waiting or looking at other markets?
Yeah, I mean, waiting's never. I mean,
Ha
I don't think waiting's gonna work.
Because
but,
home prices are going to keep going up.
Yeah. Unless there's some crazy thing that happens, it'll be all markets.
I was going to say, do you have any concerns long term about the health of the market, or no?
Not the housing market directly.
Yeah.
The overall market, yeah.
Yeah.
But if it, I feel like we're due for a crash. But if it's a crash
Everywhere.
on a global market scale.
Yeah.
So realistically, that shouldn't change your opinion on buying a home. So I think if you need a house, maybe it changes it investment wise.
Yeah.
But if you need a house and you need somewhere to live, rents aren't coming down, and I don't think they're ever gonna. But yeah, Litchfield, if you're outdoorsy and that's the lifestyle you want, it's amazing.
What are some specific trails that, do you have anything that people should check out?
Anything at White Memorial School.
Yep.
They have the popular. If you go on all trails, they'll have the top 5 that come up. They have a cool boardwalk trail around the pond where, it's marsh lands, but they built like a cool boardwalk around it. And, there's a really good one. New Preston Land Trust has a great one that goes up to the top of the mountain. Then you can see overlooks Lake Warmog. Lake Warmog's like my favorite lake ever.
No way.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful over
Why's
there.
that?
The houses on it are amazing. There's a what is it?
It's in New Preston.
Yeah, New Preston, Lake Warmog, all beautiful $1 million homes around the lake. There's a winery up on the lake there. Not a big winery guy, I forget the name of it, but that's a beautiful area to like check out if you're not from up there. I don't think there's a state park on the backside that you could actually camp at. They have a little campground and they have a state beach, so there is some access to that lake. Some of the lakes up there are hard to get access to, but Bantam Lakes is right in Litchfield. They have a little town beach, which that's one thing. When you buy in Litchfield, they have a town beach on the thing. It's $15 for the town beach pass. And you can go all year. Nobody's ever there. I take my dog there. It's dog friendly. They have a boat launch. And then you don't have to use like the state boat launch. That gets a little crazy on the weekends. So there's so much. Basically, if you like outdoor activity, like Litchfield County is it.
There's so much to do.
There's stuff down here. There's some cool reservoirs and hiking trails down this way, but it's like endless up there. Yeah. And I like it because it puts you really close to get into Vermont and New Hampshire. Get up to Maine. You're already an hour ahead of everybody in Fairfield County.
You got that right. It helps with traffic for sure.
Oh, I know.
Which you don't have really up there in Litchfield.
No, that's why real estate. I do about an hour bubble. I do upper Fairfield County a little bit, New Haven County, some upper Hartford County. But Route 8's really nice up there. It's like picturesque, and I'm mostly taking back roads. Come down here, I take 202. I always find the back road route, even if it's like 10 minutes longer.
Yeah, I love that you do that, by the way. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, this was a blast.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
It was great having you come on, talk about Litchfield, Litchfield County, the real estate market up there, learn a little bit more about yourself. If anybody wants to connect with you, where can they?
Instagram's probably the best spot. Just look John Daikus and it'll come up.
Daikus.
Yeah, that's it.
Dude,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you for
great.
having me.